Since the visits from German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in November last year and President of the European Council Charles Michel to China in December last year, China-Europe relations have shown signs of recovery, with a wave of recent intensive interactions. Pedro Sanchez, Prime Minister of Spain, kicked off his visit to China on Wednesday. French President Emmanuel Macron and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen have both stated that they will visit China next week. According to German media reports, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock is also looking to visit China in mid-April. Will this diplomatic surge help push China-Europe relations to rebound and even usher in an era of flourishing ties? Against this backdrop, the speech by European Commission President von der Leyen on the prospects of China-Europe relations, delivered at a discussion organized by two major think tanks, the European Policy Center and the Mercator Institute for China Studies, has attracted attention from all sectors. This address is not only seen as her first comprehensive statement on China-Europe relations as the head of the European Commission, but also as setting the tone for her upcoming visit to China. One consensus that cannot be ignored, and that was reflected in von der Leyen's speech: Europe cannot lose China and should continue to maintain contact with China. It should be said that this is the latest effort by EU leaders to find a position for the EU amid the changing dynamics of major power relations, after Michel stressed Europe's strategic autonomy. He suggests that Europe cannot blindly stand with the US, and the EU's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Josep Borrell, stated that the EU would not follow the US' toughest policies on China. It goes without saying that the EU's policy toward China currently faces contradictions and dilemmas, but there can be no doubt that various sectors hope to maintain the possibility of cooperation with China independently from the US. This creates a certain foundation for the return of a rational and pragmatic attitude to Europe's China policy. In fact, regardless of the ups and downs in the political and diplomatic relations between China and Europe in recent years, China's role in the prosperity and growth prospects pursued by the EU has only increased since China was the EU's largest trading partner for 2 consecutive years in 2020 and 2021. Friendship is the main tone and cooperation is the overall goal of China's policy toward Europe. China has already expressed this attitude to the European side on many occasions. The Chinese side welcomes the visits of European leaders with open arms and is willing to engage in practical dialogue and communication. However, the blossoming of China-Europe relations requires both sides to meet each other halfway.